and welcome back. And I've read some stuff and they were quite weird, so let's get weird. Okay, first I want to bring up a couple of anthologies that I read I quite enjoyed. One of them is very apocalyptic. All of the stories were set in the same kind of world. I believe that was the brief, and it was edited by Bo Chappell, who I know on Twitter, and he's a really nice guy. And that was By Year's End, a Year 47 anthology. So if you like apocalyptic type stuff, you might be into it. And there was also Lovecraft's Monsters, which has got people like Neil Gaiman, Caitlin R. Kiernan, lots and lots of people. I did very much enjoy it. I tend to prefer the writing that's very straightforward, rather than the verbose sort of Lovecraftian style. I don't mind it on Lovecraft, but I think when it comes to new writing, I prefer something with a bit more zing. So I really liked the Kim Newman one and the Caitlin R. Kiernan one, anything of that style. Next I read a novella, F4 by Larissa, and it's really good fun, bizarro romp. It's about her experiences as a trans person, but not at all. It's all set in a ship, like a cruise ship, that's inside a giant lizard, like a Godzilla type creature, and they travel the seas, and there's weird and wonderful goings on, dark, disturbing stuff. So that was fun. And next was Scarstruck by Levoit, and she's fantastic. The actual story of the book itself is quite lightweight. It's just generally about an actor who is in the closet in 1950s Hollywood, when it would have just been, well, it can still be a career ender, like up until fairly recently, but it was an absolute career ender. And he is forced to marry this lady who's an actress who is an alcoholic and also potentially a communist. And I love old Hollywood. I love scandals, old Hollywood type, the dark side of it and the secrets. And so it was kind of made with me in mind, I feel. I thoroughly recommend it. Next was Cenote City by Monique, Quintana, and the publisher described this as being like the Silencio piece in Mulholland Drive, and I definitely get where they're coming from. It did evoke a kind of surrealist, dreamlike tale about people who live in Mexico, and they live in a particularly poor area in a cenote, which I found out, I had no idea, is like a dip in a ground with some water in it. So I learned something new. It's definitely got a kind of surreal, dreamlike quality to it, and it's really pretty, and I'm very much looking forward to whatever else she does. And I'm going to end it with Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who most people know from 100 Years of Solitude or Love in the Time of Cholera, that, you know, very famous. But I read, or rather listened to, on Audible, Memories of My Melancholy Whores. So I don't have a problem outright with books in which the main character is very unpleasant. Totally don't. Or, you know, very seedy, very pervy. I will argue with anyone for the merits of Lolita. I love Lolita. I think it's beautifully written. The main thing about it is that Humbert is shown as a very unpleasant man who ruins Lolita's life, essentially. Whereas this, he reaches his 90th birthday. He decides that the best way to celebrate that is with a 14-year-old sex worker who is a virgin. So he goes into the bedroom with her at night while she's asleep, and he watches her sleep, and he tries to have sex with her, but she carries on sleeping. He's kind of miffed about it, but he just keeps going back, and he thinks about all his other conquests in between and becomes obsessed with her, and the female characters aren't really anything other than people who are in love with this guy, although I can't figure out why. And the 14-year-old doesn't get a say in anything. Her personality is completely imposed on her by this man, which would be a clever ploy if it just wasn't such a lightweight story in which it's just about a guy who gets everything that he wants, and what he wants is really kind of gross and pervy, and I don't know, it just made me feel a bit, so yeah, not my bag. But anyway, the others I very much enjoyed. Apart from, I will say, Lovecraft and His Monsters was another Audible story that I listened to, and the Laird Baron story had British and Irish characters in it, and I think I noticed this more as a Brit, but whenever any narrator does British or Irish accents, like for example they did the same with oh, I can't remember, the mermaid thing, and they're awful. It's so off-putting, but you know, it's still good. I recommend it, audiobook or not. So that's it. Thanks. I will see you upon my return. Goodbye.